Hello everyone, my dear followers. Today I want to welcome you to a new chapter of What If Naruto Had the Rinnegan and Fell in Love with TAYUYA. Remember, if you want more chapters, just smash that like and subscribe button. Enjoy.
Chapter 11 The Red Dawn. Naruto woke up on his bed in the middle of the night. Tendo is not Uzumaki Naruto. That was what Shirato told him. It was what kept him awake. Naruto wondered what does that one statement meant. He knew that Shirato and perhaps all other paths were part of him. But Tendo knew many things that he did not know. Tendo was able to kill someone when he was kid. He knew that when he was a kid, he was not that strong. No, the mystery is not only Tendo. Geto was able to defeat two Biju. Tendo told him that it was because he was an anti-Biju. He needed to understand why. He needed to learn what is a Biju. And I must find out what could subdue a Biju. Perhaps that could be a clue to find out the identity of Geto. Naruto left his bed and moved to where the clothes he wore in the Chunin exam. Shirato, will you help me? He asked. He would prefer to have the second path's input. He seemed to know Geto and Tendo well. Better than he did at least. Leave it to me, master. Naruto looked around as he walked. Konoha is like a dead city at night, he noted. He was alone on the streets. After quite some time walking, he saw his destination, the library of Konoha. He reasoned that the best place to search an information about Biju and Samsara was the library. He just thanked the fact that the library was open 24 hours for shinobi. He entered the library and bowed at the guards. The guards were two shinobis wearing Chunin vests. Seems like most Chunins are given guard duties. He remembered the two gate guards of Konoha, they were Chunins too. Name, rank, and reason for visiting, one of the guard asked. They knew who he was. All shinobi of Konoha knew about the son of Yondaime Hokage. It was rare to see him in the public without his mother or his team though. Uzumaki Naruto, Genin. I am looking for any information about Biju. After what happened in the invasion, I prefer to be prepared, Naruto answered, showing his shinobi card. The guards looked at each other and checked for genjutsu or any trace of forgery in the card. Naruto looked confused. Uzumaki-san, you were in the hospital for the past week were you not? A guard asked. Yes, is there a problem? Did something happen while he was in the hospital? You were promoted into Chunin. Tomorrow, you should update your card at the administration office. The guards allowed him to pass after that. Naruto blinked. That was a rather anticlimactic way to find out I am promoted. He thought, promoted? Why would you care about ranks anyway? Shirato asked. To him, ranks that the shinobi made was useless. It does not really affect their combat abilities. If I am promoted, I could get higher ranking mission. Higher ranking mission means more money. True that the Yondaime left enough money for mother and I but I prefer not to depend on him, Naruto explained. With the money that was left, he could stop doing mission and still lived comfortably but he resolved himself not to use the money. Yondaime? Our father? Shirato asked. Naruto froze, he did not expect Shirato to call that man, father. He thought that Shirato would share his dislike for the man. Then again, Shirato showed no emotions when he saw his mother, Tsunade, Team 7 and the Ikarakus. He wondered whether Shirato only possessed his memories but not his emotions. Yes, he answered with a sigh. You don't like him, it was a statement. Shirato could feel his master's dislike. No, he guessed jealousy would be more suitable. I am not him. I don't care about surpassing him anymore. But Naruto trailed off. After his declaration in the Chunin exam, he tried not to think about the Yondaime. But, when he did, he felt his dislike returning. He knew it was childish. The man did nothing to him, but every time he saw himself in the mirror, he saw how everyone saw him. A smaller copy of him. It hurts when his mother and Jiraiya compared him to his father, but you still want to prove to everyone that you are not his copy, Shirato concluded. Naruto nodded. Then Shirato changed the subject. Well, let's focus on researching the Biju. That's our first priority. Naruto nodded again. Let's see, I think information about Biju would be in history or myth section. Naruto created 2 shadow clones and sent them to the sections he mentioned. Then he thought for a second and sent several more clones toward the weapon section. I should learn how to create several basic weapons with Shirato's power. Seeing his clones moving away, he nodded. Now, to religion section. He used one of the desks in the library to place his books and began reading. Biju, also called chakra monsters, are beings that roamed in the elemental countries. They are massive living beings made of chakra with different numbers of tails and appearance. It is believed that they possess a bestial nature which restricts them from being intelligent enough to use their chakra effectively. Reading that, Naruto instinctively knew that it was wrong. The book is mistaken, they are intelligent, Shirato commented. Naruto nodded and continued to read. After the formation of the hidden villages, Shodai Hokage, Senju Hashirama captured the beasts using his Mokuton. Naruto noted that Mokuton could capture Biju, and gave them to other villages as peace treaties. Naruto frowned. It was done as an attempt to stabilize the power balance between villages. By the time Naruto read this, he was furious. These mortals are sick. How could they do that to the Bijus? Shirato growled in his mind. Naruto saw pictures of the Bijus. He felt his consciousness fading. Geto, he recognized the presence and relaxed. He knew it was futile to fight against his other. Opening his eyes, Geto placed his hand over the pictures. First, was the Ichibi, a tanuki, Shikaku. Then his hand moved over to the giant cat, Matatabi. Then to the giant turtle, Isabu. The monkey, Son Goku. The horse with dolphin head, Kokuo. The slug, Saiken. The Kabutomushi. Komiai. The Ushioni, Gyuki. The fox, Kurama. Then he nodded, pointing to himself, family. Geto's presence disappeared and Naruto snapped out of his daze. What was that? Shirato asked. That was supposed to be impossible. We can't just take control from you like that, Geto. Naruto muttered. The outer realm did it again. First was when he saw a Saiken directly. Now, he controlled him when he saw the pictures. What is he? Naruto wondered. Whatever he is similar to Tendo. An existence that is not Uzumaki Naruto and yet exists within Uzumaki Naruto, Shirato told him. Shirato could not see how was it possible. He was a part of Uzumaki Naruto that was made when the Samsara chose him. Tendo and Geto are supposed to be the same as me, but they are not. An existence that is not Uzumaki Naruto but exists within Uzumaki Naruto. Not for the first time, Naruto wondered what that meant. That statement was the reason he was here in the library. To find out about them, Naruto decided to read a little further about the Biju. However, after Shodai Hokage's death, the villages had trouble containing the beasts themselves and they began to run wild. Naruto felt a surge of satisfaction reading that. He continued, so the villages instead moved to seal the Biju within humans. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Jinchuriki. Shirato commented. Naruto nodded in affirmation. This was the reason why Jinchuriki was made. In order to ensure that the Jinchuriki wouldn't turn traitor, it has been common practice to choose the Jinchuriki from the village's Kage family, such as a sibling or a spouse. Naruto's eyes narrowed even further. His mother was the Yandame's wife. If he remembered correctly, the candidates for the Yandame position were Orochi and his father. Perhaps his mother was one of the reason his father was chosen. The strength of the Jinchuriki would then be used to protect the village and be a living display of the Kage's power. Naruto glared at the book. They treated the Jinchuriki as a weapon. No, a bomb. They even went as far as to make sure the Jinchuriki was related to the Kage to make sure of their loyalty. Shirato scowled. Naruto listed the information he had obtained. Mokuton could subdue a Biju. I need to find a reason why. That could be a clue for Geto's power. Shirato agreed. After this, we'll search about Mokuton. The Bijus are intelligent. They also have names. Naruto still had some memory from Geto's possession. It seems that he was getting used with the outsider's presence. Somehow, Geto knew them. He was familiar with them. The fact that he managed to predict the techniques Saiken and Komiai were going to use proved it. Shikaku, Matatabi, Isabu, Son Goku, Kokuo, Saiken, Komiai, Gyuki, and Kurama, Shirato listed. Geto said that they are family to him. That part confused him. Just who is he? Let's read about Samsara first, perhaps there are information about the paths, advised Shirato. Naruto nodded and opened another book. Rinne or Samsara means continuous movement. It refers to the cycle of birth and death that all beings experienced. It is the cycle of continuous suffering that could only be escaped by reaching enlightenment. The six domain are part of the desire realm where all beings who went through samsara may be reincarnated to. Naruto was confused. 6. I thought there are 7. Geto is not part of the 6. That is why we called him the outer realm. Geto represented a part that followed outer path. The outer path is outside of the 6 and so he could be considered something that should not exist. Because he is outside the desire realm, Shirato explained. How did you know this? Naruto asked Shirato. He was unaware about all that. How come Shirato know about it? Before, Shirato told him he did not know Geto and yet he was able to explain about the desire realm. Did you lie to me? No, Tendo explained it to us when we asked who Geto is. I don't really understand until we read this book. But I am certain that Geto is an existence that was made by samsara inside you. Even though that he isn't part of the 6, he should still follow the same laws as we do. What are the laws? Naruto asked. It would be prudent to learn more about the paths. It could be useful in the future. Well, the ones that I know is that we shouldn't be able to take control of your body like Geto did. Naruto nodded. And, unless you have the Rinnegan, you may only connect to one of us, Shirato continued. What does that mean? Naruto asked. Does that mean he could only use one path? For an example, you are using my ability. Then you try to use other path's ability. One of them will disappear. If I have Rinnegan, this will not be a problem, yes? Naruto asked. His mind wondering what exactly is Rinnegan. Why does it have the ability to control the paths? Yes, Shirato confirmed. Is there any other rules? Those are the rules that I know of. That meant there could be other laws Shirato did not know of. Naruto decided to move to another point. So Tendo know who Geto is? He had suspicions but this confirmed it. Do you think there is anything about us that Tendo don't know about? Shirato asked rhetorically. Naruto thought for a while. I suppose he did act as if he knew everything. Shirato laughed. Read on, he told Naruto. The domains of desire realm are, the God domain. The jealous God domain. The human domain. The animal domain. The hungry ghost domain. The hell domain. Naruto nodded. That confirmed the 6 realms inside him. That means you are the jealous God, Shirato. I resent that, I am not jealous. Shirato grumbled. He was not a jealous God. He just disliked that arrogant bastard. You just dislike Tendo. Naruto gave a slight chuckle as he unknowingly stated Shirato's thought. Naruto read a little further but decided that there were no more useful information about the paths. Except for one sentence. It is believed that Rikudo Sennin was called Rikudo because he has mastered the 6th domain of desire realm. Naruto read out loud, amazed. Does that mean he had the Rinnegan? Shirato wondered. That's our next objective. To find out about Rikudo Sennin, Naruto closed the book. Let's list what we know about the samsara, Naruto said. First, there are 6 domains. Or in our case, 6 paths. Yes, Tendo, Shirato, Ninjendo, Chikashodo, Kikido and Jigakudo, Shirato listed. Geto is not one of the path. Naruto closed his eyes, he felt a headache forming. Yes, he is the outer realm. If Shirato had a body, he would have nodded. Tendo knows everything. Naruto laughed a little after saying that. Somehow, it sounded believable. That arrogant bastard, at least he could count on Shirato to insult Tendo. Rikudo Sennin might have the Rinnegan. Naruto ended. He wondered whether this was true or not. If it was, then it certainly would be interesting. If he had it, maybe we are his descendant or something. Shirato wondered. Naruto shook his head at the thought. I doubt it. Then he made several clones. Some to return the books, some to get books about Mokuton and Rikudo Sennin. After waiting for a while, the books arrived. Naruto noted that the book of Rikudo Sennin was placed in myth section. He opened a book about bloodlines. He flipped through the pages and found it, Mokuton, Nature Kekkei Genkai, which combines water and earth releases to create woods or trees. Naruto blinked. What does that have to do with subduing Biju, he wondered. Maybe you should continue reading first. If we're lucky, there will be information about jutsu that restrained the Biju, Shirato joked. No way such important jutsu will be in a book like this, Naruto chuckled and read on. Then his eyes widened. It's here, he asked in shock. Some mortals are stupid, quoted from Tendo, Shirato quoted blankly. Even he knew the importance of such information. Why the hell is it in a library book? Perhaps they believe that since no one can use Mokuton anymore, there's no need to hide this information. Naruto reasoned, but even then he knew how foolish it was to write such information. Let's see. Hokage Shiki Jijuin Jutsu, Kakuan Nit Ten Suishu. So, that would be Hokage-style 60-year-old technique, enclosed hermitage entering society with bliss-bringing hands, strange name, and a very long name. Shirato commented. First, the user would produce the seal, sit, on their palm, and then by touching the Biju's chakra with their hand, the user then suppresses the chakra inside an area lined with 10 or 11 wooden pillars. Naruto read the technique description. That does not help us understand Geto at all. Shirato muttered. Useless book. Well, let's try to find out about Rikudo Sennin then. Naruto decided to stop reading about Mokuton. It seems that the book was not useful. Rikudo Sennin, the legendary figure who founded ninjutsu and created the shinobi world. In the myth, he was a priest who learned the truth about chakra and used it to lead the world into a world of peace instead of war. He managed to create peace and was named the savior of this world. He was considered as a myth and had a strange mutated eyes. Naruto grinned. This is it, the mutated eyes. Naruto flipped the page and saw an illustration of the so-called mutated eyes of Rikudo, RINNEGAN. Shirato recognized the eyes easily. It was within his own eye socket after all. At least when he was back to his realm. So it is true, Rikudo Sennin had the same eyes as us, Naruto muttered. His mind blazed with the possibilities of Rinnegan power. He thought about how strong he would be when he unlocked it. His grin widened. He could be a god. Whoa, calm down there, master. You are about to reach Tendo's arrogance level, Shirato warned him. Naruto snapped out of his imagination. Sorry, but after knowing this and imagining its power, it's easy to see why Tendo is so arrogant. He is the keeper of our Rinnegan, right? That means he knows the extent of its power. A power that was used by someone who was called the savior of the world. After that, Shirato and Naruto were both silent and Naruto decided to leave the library. When Naruto walked back from the library, he noticed something. The Hokage monument. Even though it was dark, he could see the 5 faces on the mountain. Looking at each one of them, especially at his father's face, he muttered out loud, I never really thought about it. Never thought about what, Naruto-kun? Itachi asked, suddenly appearing beside him. Naruto relaxed his hand that was about to flung a kunai to his sensei. I never actually thought about my goal, what do you mean? Itachi raised his eyebrow. There could be myriad of ways to interpret Naruto's statement. It could mean that he does not have a goal, or it could mean that he does not have a plan to reach his goal. When Team 7 was formed, I told them that my goal is to become the Hokage. Naruto told Itachi. At that time, it was just a way for me to prove that I am better than my father. But now, Itachi waited for Naruto to continue. He wondered where this would lead to, but now, I thought that it was childish. Then, I declared that my goal is to protect everyone precious to me. But, how can I do that? I cannot be around them all the time. It sounded impossible. Itachi smiled. Then, why don't you try to create a peaceful world, he asked. Peaceful world? Naruto muttered. Those words seemed familiar to him. He heard Itachi explaining. If the world is peaceful, then everyone will be safe. There will be no need to fight anymore. A peaceful world. A world with no war, that is my goal. Your goal, sensei? Naruto asked. His mind still trying to remember where did he heard those words. Yes, I was born in a war. I fought in a war. I have seen the darker side of humanity. I have seen how evil war can make them. At that time, I had an epiphany. Itachi met Naruto's eyes. If war caused humans to be evil, then I just have to stop all wars. Your goal is to create a peaceful world? Naruto asked again. Itachi nodded. I will establish a peaceful world, Naruto-kun, Itachi declared with conviction. Naruto felt his head hurting. He heard a similar declaration before. He made it. Itachi saw Naruto's focused face. He smiled. It is already late, Naruto-kun, I have to go now. After Itachi left, Naruto continued to stood. His mind trying to remember his words. His own declaration. Damn it. What was it? He growled. After thinking about it for some time, he finally gave up. He turned his head to the sky and saw the moon. His mind instantly flashed back to the moon he saw in the heaven realm. Then, he remembered, I am the one who will establish peace and order. He muttered. Throughout all of this, Naruto dimly realized that he did not feel Shirato's presence in his mind. The next day, Naruto left the house to the administration office. When he reached the office, he froze. In front of him, stood the 3 captured Jinchuriki. They each were given a Konoha forehead protectors in place of their previous ones. Naruto wondered how he should act around them. Just as he thought about it, he heard a familiar voice. Naruto-kun, you forgot your lunch, his mother shouted at him as she entered the waiting room. Naruto cursed. Instantly the whole room turned at him and Naruto could hear some voices calling him a mama boy. Naruto wished he could summon his chains and kill those people, but he had to maintain an appearance in front of his mother. Thank you, Okasama, he accepted the lunchbox she delivered. Part of him hoped that she would return back home after handing him his lunch. That hope died instantly when his mother saw the 3 Jinchuriki. Kushina's eyes brightened when she saw them and she immediately called them. Fu-chan, Gaara-kun, Utakata-kun, she waved at them. Naruto noted that Komiai's vessel waved back while Shikaku's and Saiken simply nodded. It seemed that his mother gained several new friends. Jiraiya told him that she is able to befriend anyone. Before, he thought that it was an exaggeration. Seeing his mother chatting amicably with Komiai's vessel, he knew he was mistaken. Uzumaki Naruto-san, he heard his name being called and he entered the office. When Naruto entered the office, Naruto saw Sasuke and his Nara classmate. What is his name? Shikamaru, is it? He nodded at Sasuke as a greeting. Then he turned to the other occupants of the room. Itachi stood, wearing his Hokage hat and robe. Beside him were Kakashi and another Jonin with a cigarette in his mouth. Itachi met each of their eyes and nodded. After reviewing your performances in the exam, the judges and I have decided that the following genins, Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke, and Nara Shikamaru shall be promoted to Chunins of Konohagakure no Sato. As I call your name, step forward and receive your Chunin vest. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto walked to the Hokage and received the vest. Congratulations, Chunin Uzumaki. Naruto nodded. As he returned back to his previous place, Naruto noted that he would probably never wear the vest except in a formal occasion. The vest were filled with strengthening seals inside it and storage seals in the pockets. It would be easy for an Uzumaki such as him to customize his clothes the same way. After Sasuke and the Nara received their vests, Itachi smiled. As of right now, the 3 of you are Chunins of this village. I hope you will continue to support our village. Yes, Hokage-sama. Naruto walked out of the office and saw his mother still talking with the green-haired girl. He noted that the 2 other vessels also listened to her words attentively. Naruto-kun. Come here. Kushina motioned him to come. When he walked near them, he saw that they instantly became wary. It seems that they did not trust him as he was not a Jinchuriki like them. You know them from the exam, right? This is Fu-chan, Kushina motioned at the girl. Gaara-kun, she moved her hand to the red-haired boy. And Uchiha-kun, she moved her hand to the last boy. This is my son, Naruto. Kushina placed her hands over his shoulders and her head over his. Naruto nodded to each of them. An amusing scene, considering that his mother was still hanging on him. Greetings, Fu-san, Gaara-san, Uchiha-san. The girl gave an uncertain smile. Hello Naruto-san. Naruto noted that her tone had a dark undertone in it. Anger? Doubt? Gaara met his eyes impassively and nodded. Uchiha tipped his head. Naruto-san. Naruto noted that even though that Gaara and Uchiha were not as wary as the girl, they were still cautious about him. That won't do. They will live with us. Any distrust will not be beneficial. He nodded. Let us be clear. I know what you are and I know you do not trust me. They immediately had their guards up. Naruto noted that his mother gave a sad smile as she saw it. That would not do. His mother should not be sad. He continued, we will be living together. To tell you the truth, the only connection between us is my mother. I do not expect you to be amicable to me. However, the moment any of you try to hurt Okasama. Naruto felt his chains forming behind him. They tensed. I will kill you. After his declaration, the strange group of 4 Jinchuriki and 1 normal human moved to Ichiraku Ramen in silence. His mother tried to make them talk with each other but they were barely able to speak 1 or 2 words with each other. Naruto sadly realized that the lunchbox would be wasted as they would eat at the Ichiraku. Iam's ramen might be good but his mother's was the best. When they entered the restaurant, Naruto stopped. He felt someone watching him. He looked around. Where? What is it, Sochi? Kushina asked, worried. Behind you, master, Shirato told him. Naruto turned and he met the stare of a pair of golden eyes. Okasama, I have to go. If you have finished eating, please go home without me. Naruto bowed and walked out of Ichiraku Ramen. Naruto walked to an empty training ground that was located quite far from the central area of the village. Come out, Naruto ordered. Naruto raised an eyebrow as he saw 2 shadows appearing. Both of them wore straw hats and black cloaks with red clouds on it. One of them had a bandaged weapon on his back. Why are you here again, Orochi? Naruto asked. One of them took off his hat, revealing Orochimaru. Congratulations on your promotion, Naruto-kun, Orochimaru smiled. Naruto narrowed his eyes. I am here to do my job, and that is? Naruto placed his Chunin vest to the ground. To kidnap the Jinchuriki. Hearing the answer, Naruto snapped his head towards the smirking pale man. Why? He asked. Orochimaru-san, why are we even talking with this kid anyway? Let's just grab the vessels and go, the other shinobi spoke. It is alright Kisame-kun, on the contrary, Naruto-kun might be able to help us. Help, both Naruto and the shinobi, Kisame asked at the same time. Correct. Naruto-kun, you must be quite frustrated at the Jinchuriki. They suddenly appeared and became friendly with your mother. What if they took her away from you? Naruto narrowed his eyes. He easily recognized what Orochimaru's plan was. You want me to bring them to you, he stated. Orochimaru chuckled. Correct. No, Naruto answered shortly. No. Orochimaru raised an eyebrow. Mother would be sad if they disappeared. She seemed to be happy finding someone who are similar to her. I will not let anyone take it away. Naruto formed a kunai in his hands using Shirato's power. Get ready, Shirato. You heard the boy, Orochimaru-san, let's just kill him. Kisame raised his weapon and the bandages were released. Hashigaki Kisama, bastard, S-ranked missing mean from Kirigakure and Samahata, Naruto observed. Also known as the tailless Biju. It's Kisame kid. Not Kisama. Kisame shouted. Why are you with him, Orochi? Naruto asked. We are part of a certain organization. An organization consisted of S-ranked missing mean. Kisame grinned, showing his shark teeth, the name's Akatsuki Kid. Don't forget it. Naruto narrowed his eyes further. An organization of S-ranked ninjas? Dangerous. Why would they need the Jinchuriki? Naruto-kun, you do realize that you will not survive fighting against us, don't you? Orochimaru asked as he took out Kusanagi. Naruto frowned. I will stop you. He tensed. He knew that he would not win. Against two S-ranked ninjas, his only hope was for someone to notice the battle and called the Hokage. Unfortunately, this place was quite deserted. Oh well, at least I will die fighting for my mother. Very well, several snakes shot out from Orochimaru's sleeves towards Naruto. Naruto transformed the kunai he had prepared into a katana using Shirato and moved to cut the snakes. Just before the snakes reached him, they were shot by white bullets. The three ninjas moved their heads towards the source of the interruption. 5 ninjas appeared from the forest. One of them was a giant man with orange eyes, and 3 tufts of orange hair on his head. A lost member of Akimichi. One was a man with black hair and black eyes. He had 6 arms. Is he a relative of yours, Shirato? Next was a man with gray hair and black eyes. Behind him, a gray bulge was visible. He had purple lipstick and brown eyeliner. A crossdresser, then the lone girl in the group. A girl with long untamed pink hair and brown eyes. She had a flute in his hand. Interesting. Is it only because she looks similar to our mother, master? Shut up, Shirato. The final member was the one he was most curious in. A man with pale skin, green eyes and silver hair. He had 2 dots on his foreheads and several bones coming out of his back. A Kaguya. I thought they all died. After the mission at Nami, Team 7 were told tales of the clans from Kiri by Zabuza and Haku. One of them was the Kaguya clan. A clan with ability to manipulate their bones and was known as the most barbaric clan in Kiri. Naruto-sama, the Kaguya called him. We are at your command. Naruto looked at them confused and saw the Kaguya's eyes looking at Orochimaru. He turned towards Orochi. Orochi smirked. Naruto chuckled. It seems that I will survive this after all. Chapter 12 The First Meeting. Now, how should I do this? Naruto wondered as he scanned the battlefield. Some distance in front of him, stood 2 hostiles. Orochi and Hoshigaki. From the direction of the forest, there are 5 ninja. One of them claimed that they were here to assist him. They seems to be here under Orochi's orders. That was just a speculation though. Perhaps they were here to help Orochi and Hoshigaki. Then again, I doubt it. Orochi and Hoshigaki does not need any reinforcements to defeat me. Master, what should we do? Shirato asked. Wait, Shirato. I am thinking. He supposed he should treat the 5 as allies. If they were enemies, then he would lose anyway. Let's see, the enemies are Orochi and Hoshigaki. From what I know of Orochi, he is a poison, ninjutsu, kenjutsu user. Hoshigaki is known for his massive chakra reserves and was one of the 7 swordsmen of Kiri like Zabuza. His sword is called Samahata. I don't know anything else about him. The Kaguya was from Kiri, he should be familiar with Hoshigaki's fighting style. Now, about the other 4. This is boring. Hoshigaki suddenly said as he made several hand seals and water sharks rose from the ground. Interesting. Naruto muttered. It was quite an impressive sight to see a powerful Suiton jutsu used in a place with no water. His affinity to Suiton matched Nidaime Hokage's. Naruto jumped away as one of the shark crashed to the place where he stood. He threw his sword at the shark and it exploded. Kaguya. I will engage Hoshigaki. Assist me, he commanded as he moved towards the grinning blue man. Understood, the Kaguya examined his teammates. TAYUYA. Come. The lone girl followed the Kaguya while muttering something. Futon Katan, Naruto formed a fire-covered wind chakra on his right arm and punched Hoshigaki. He predicted that Hoshigaki would have blocked with his sword. Though, he did not predict his fire-wind chakra disappearing. Hoshigaki grinned and swung Samahata. Naruto expected his hand to be cut by it but instead he was blown away by the swing. He flipped in the air and landed on the ground. He looked at his hand and found it to be covered by scratches. That sword. Naruto definitely felt his chakra disappearing when he hit the sword. No, it did not disappear. It was absorbed. Not only that. It did not cut my hand. What is that sword? Kid, my sword, Samahata is known as the most terrifying of all 7 swordsman blades. Samahata doesn't cut. It shaves. Kisame dashed and swung his sword at Naruto. TCH. Naruto summoned his chains to held the blade back. The chains stopped Samahata and Naruto jumped away. When he looked at the blade again, he gasped. His chains disappeared after touching the sword for several seconds. It absorbs chakra. Naruto guessed. That's wrong, kid. It eats chakra. Kisame's grin became wider. Then he raised his Samahata to block several white bullets moving towards him. Naruto suspected that it was bone bullets. Haku told him that it was Kagaya clan's favorite projectile weapons. TAYUYA. Play your flute, the Kagaya commanded. Fine, fine. The girl, TAYUYA, raised her flute to her mouth and began to play. Naruto scanned the girl. Genjutsu user. Perhaps the flute is her method of casting it. That is interesting. Is that flute special? The flute is just a normal flute, master, Shirato told him. Naruto nodded. That means the girl must be a prodigy in genjutsu then. I do not believe that casting genjutsu with a flute is an easy task. Hoshigaki noticed the girl playing her flute and moved to attack her. Naruto cursed. He could do nothing against the shark-like man. Most of his techniques came from his chakra. His elemental manipulations, his chains, Shirato's weapons. All of them would be useless against Samahata. The Kagaya deflected Hoshigaki's sword with a bone. Seems like I'm worried for nothing, Naruto commented. He moved near the girl. In case Hoshigaki tried to use long-ranged attacks, he would need to protect her. The girl saw him coming closer and glared. Do not mind me, I am only here to cover you from Hoshigaki's possible long-range attacks, Naruto informed her. Her glare intensified but she continued to play. Naruto sighed. As if on cue, Hoshigaki's water sharks returned. 3 of them. Naruto formed 3 kunais and threw them towards the sharks. When the kunais impacted with them, they exploded. The Kagaya seems to be doing well, Naruto commented as he saw the Kagaya evenly matching Hoshigaki's attacks. Naruto wondered where did someone like him came from. To match an S-ranked Kenjutsu user was no small feat. He doubted any shinobi in Konoha could do the same. The girl suddenly released chakra and Naruto turned towards her in alarm. Immediately Hoshigaki stopped moving. Wonder what is the effect. Naruto saw Hoshigaki swinging his sword wildly. Most likely blindness. Naruto formed a kunai and threw it upwards. When the kunai came back down, he caught it. Futon Katan, the kunai burned and he threw it towards the shark man. The kunai was deflected by another kunai. Naruto narrowed his eyes. He heard a familiar chuckle. Kisame-kun, why are you acting like a fool? Orochi asked as he moved near Hoshigaki. Sorry, Orochimaru-san, I was careless, Hoshigaki grinned as Orochi dispelled the genjutsu on him. He turned towards Naruto and the girl. Let us retreat for now, Kisame-kun. Orochi began to melt to the ground. Fine, Hoshigaki made several hand seals and a shark launched with a great speed towards Naruto and TAYUYA. Naruto's eyes narrowed. The shark was fast. It would be possible for him to avoid it using futon, but the girl would not be able to. He decided to use this chance to experiment. Shirato, Tate. Azura Path, shield, a shield similar to the one Shirato made in his spar against Sasuke appeared. It was struck by the shark and exploded. Naruto flew away from the impact. Damn. Still too weak. The last thing Naruto saw before he lost consciousness was the sight of a familiar white hair. When Naruto regained consciousness, he noted several presences near him. Oi Kimimaro. The boy is awake, the gray-haired crossdresser shouted. Immediately, the Kagaya appeared. Are you injured, Naruto-sama? The Kagaya, Kimimaro asked. No, I am fine, Naruto sat and scanned each of them. Alright, who are you? He asked. We are Orochimaru-sama's servants. Kimimaro watched him, gauging his reaction. Naruto nodded. I expected that. Orochi probably brought them with him in case I refused to help. If I agreed to bring the Jinchuriki to him before, there would be no battle. But, he knew I would refuse. Alright, that means you all are from Oto, Naruto stated. When he met Orochi before Chunin exam, Orochi told him that he was the leader of Otogakure no Sato, the hidden village of sound. Orochi told him that most of Oto members were survivors of extinct clans, orphan children, or outcasts. That would explain their uniqueness. Kimimaro nodded. What is his plan? Naruto asked. He had no doubt Orochi had a plan hidden somewhere. He doubted they would be here just to assist him against Hoshigaki and then disappeared. Orochimaru-sama ordered one of us to stay in Konoha to protect you, the giant boy told him. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Why would I need to be protected? I doubt they will answer if I ask. What are your names then? Kagaya Kimimaro. Kimimaro introduced himself. You are strong, Naruto commented. Kimimaro nodded without changing his expression. Sakan, then the crossdresser moved to show the bulge on his back. This is my brother, Yukon the brother, Yukon nodded. Naruto blinked, that's interesting. I assume that is from a bloodline ability. Sakan and Yukon nodded. Tayuya, don't forget it shithead, the girl, Tayuya smirked arrogantly at him. Naruto raised his eyebrow, it is not polite to speak in such way. And I guess you know better don't ya, shithead? Tayuya mockingly replied. Naruto's eyes narrowed. A chain was formed and bound Tayuya. Instantly the six-handed man, Sakan and Yukon laughed. The problem was not the chain binding Tayuya, but the way the chain bound her. The chain bound the foul-mouthed girl in shibari style, Japanese bondage style. Pervert, the girl yelled as she tried to escape the chain. I am not a pervert. This is how my godfather taught me to bind a kunoichi, Naruto answered with a calm face. Indeed Naruto-kun. Jiraiya suddenly appeared, writing furiously on his note. He muttered, why didn't I think of this? The main character had a rope bloodline to punish enemies kunoichis, the perverted one giggled madly. Naruto ignored Jiraiya's ramblings. He released the bindings around Tayuya, leaving only her throat bound by the chain. Oh. Collar. Jiraiya gave another perverted giggle. Why a collar, Naruto? He asked after he finished writing his note. Yeah. Shithead, why a damn collar? The girl shouted again. Naruto channeled some lightning chakra to the chain and she gasped as her throat was shocked. So I can punish you for saying impolite words. Naruto proved his denseness by not realizing the innuendo in his words. Of course, the super pervert Jiraiya caught it and giggled even more pervertedly, if that was possible. Naruto turned to Jiraiya, taking his eyes off the girl and shocking her every time she uttered a curse. Jiraiya-sama, you were the one who saved me. He knew he recognized those white hairs. Jiraiya turned serious, yes I did kid. In case you and the Oto 5 here aren't enough to stop Hoshigaki, I'll step in. Jiraiya patted his head, congratulations for surviving against an S-ranked Nin. I lost. Badly, Naruto muttered. Then he realized something strange. Jiraiya-sama, you know about Oto? Jiraiya looked offended, of course. Oto is a joint project of all Sannin you know. Jiraiya told him. Naruto's eyes widened. All Sannin, he wondered. Why? He asked. Jiraiya smiled sadly, after we went through a war, we saw many children who have lost their homes and families. Tsunade and I decided to make an home for those children. Most of the money to build it came from the Senju's wealth and my book's income. At first, Orochimaru doesn't want to help at all. But, that changed 12 years ago. Jiraiya's sad smile turned into a proud visage, your birth was what changed him. He regained his drive, or as Sarutobi-sensei called it, his will of fire. After he left Konoha acting as a traitor, he acted as a spy to the missing Nin world and as the leader of Oto. That village is the result of the Sannin's teamwork and determination. Naruto took all of this in. The three of you really are good friends, are you not? Naruto asked with a fond smile as he remembered his own time with his teammates. Thanks to you, kid. You changed Orochimaru, for the better. Jiraiya returned Naruto's smile. Then he clapped his hands. Anyway, we should now choose which one of them will protect you. Jiraiya-sama, they still haven't finished introducing themselves yet, Naruto pointed out. Jiraiya nodded and motioned the remaining unidentified people to speak. Kadamura here, the six-handed man used one of his right hand to wave. You are similar to a spider, Naruto observed. Yeah, problem? Kadamura asked, daring him to say yes. No, spiders are good kind of animals to have as a shinobi. Their webs and poison would be useful. Kadamura smiled, you're cool with me, kid. I'm Jirobo. Nice to meet you, the giant man introduced himself. It is a pleasure to meet you, Naruto bowed. The bound Kunoichi imitated his bow mockingly and rolled her eyes. Naruto shocked her without a word. Damn it shithead. Another shock. Ow. Stop it you bastard. Another one. Fine, fine. One last shock. What the hell was that for? Then again, perhaps not, he thought as he gave her another shock. One fine is enough, girl, Naruto told the girl. The girl rolled her eyes without saying a word. Alright, I've decided. Jiraiya spoke suddenly. The other ninjas looked at him questioningly. You, TAYUYA will be Naruto's bodyguard. The two froze and shouted at the same time. What? Jiraiya relished the look full of shock on Naruto's face. It was a rare sight, to see Naruto's eyes widening while his mouth remained open. His blue eyes showing his surprise. Naruto and TAYUYA glared at each other. Why the hell would I guard this bastard? TAYUYA shouted while pointing at Naruto. She winced as another shock was sent to her. She glared at the boy. I hate to say it but I agree with the girl. I do not need her protection, Naruto returned TAYUYA's glare. Well, it's mainly because she is a girl, Jiraiya answered while thinking, they will be a goldmine of ideas. A new Ika shall be born. Is there any other reason, Jiraiya-sama? Naruto asked the Sannin with a gritted teeth. This girl is annoying. She is both impolite and arrogant. Jiraiya noted the curious reaction. It seems that she bring out interesting emotions from Naruto. Well, Kimimaro and Sakan are both important parts of Otogekure. The chain of command would break if they leave the village, Jiraiya nodded at the two. Jirobo and Kadamaru both are unsuited to work with you. Kadamaru is more of an assassin while Jirobo's fighting style will clash with yours. TAYUYA's genjutsu is exactly the one area that you are lacking, she is about as smart as you and she is able to use summons to assist you, Jiraiya explained. Naruto thought about it. She can summon. Interesting. Jiraiya-sama seems confident when he said that she is as smart as I am. Then he nodded, he did not like it but he accepted the reason. If what Jiraiya told him was the truth, then it would be logical. However, TAYUYA did not surrender easily. No way in hell I'm sticking around in this hellhole. Don't worry, Jiraiya smirked. As you will be protecting Naruto, you will live with him and his house is quite far from this hellhole, as you eloquently put it. TAYUYA and Naruto's eyes widen. Jiraiya-sama, I ask you to reconsider. I would prefer not to be near this girl, Naruto pleaded his godfather. Jiraiya noted that when Naruto was distressed, his chain loosened and TAYUYA escaped from it. Shithead's right. If I have to spend more time with him, I will kill him, TAYUYA declared. Kill me? Naruto asked in disbelief. Then he laughed as if TAYUYA just said something hilarious. You are mistaken girl. I am the one who will kill you. You wouldn't be able to touch me, much less kill me, TAYUYA smirked. You're delusional shithead. I am surprised you know what delusional means, Naruto countered. I'll crush you, bastard, TAYUYA took out her flute. Bring it on, girl, Naruto's body tensed, his chain returning. They glared at each other venomously. Enough. Naruto, take TAYUYA to your house. I will escort the other Otonins out of the village, Jiraiya commanded. The two ninjas glared at each other until Naruto reluctantly nodded and dragged TAYUYA with his chain to his house. Kimimaro turned towards Jiraiya. What will we do now, Jiraiya-sama? Jiraiya grinned slyly. Now, we follow them. Well, except you, Kimimaro. Tsunade called you for your regular checkup. Jiraiya handed Kimimaro a paper with Tsunade's address and left with Sakan, Yukon, Kadamaru, and Jirobo to spy on Naruto. Jiraiya giggling madly all the while, Naruto and TAYUYA walked towards Uzumaki house. Well, more of Naruto walking and TAYUYA being dragged as she cursed and yelped in pain as Naruto shocked her for every curse word she uttered. Some distance behind them, Jiraiya and the 4 Otonins followed them in secret. Shithead. TAYUYA yelled as she was shocked again. You really should stop speaking that way, Naruto advised his partner. What you gonna do about it, bastard? TAYUYA asked with a taunting smirk, not that Naruto could see her. You are chosen to guard me and so we will spend quite some time with each other. I would prefer you to avoid speaking so crudely in presence of my mother, Naruto told her coldly. You're some kind of mama boy shithead? TAYUYA sarcastically asked. Naruto looked away. TAYUYA was amazed. Wow, really? You really are a motherfucker, aren't you? The air turned cold. Even Jiraiya and his entourage could feel the pressure emanating from Naruto. It seems that I need to discipline you, girl. Naruto stated in a low voice. Bring it on, blonde. TAYUYA grinned. How did it end up like this, Shirato? Naruto asked as he hid behind a tree. Or at least what he believed was a tree. His vision was gone when the girl managed to hit him with her genjutsu. You and the girl taunted each other and decided to fight. I must admit, you are correct. She is interesting, Shirato laughed in his mind. When I challenged her, I expected a reckless girl who will cast genjutsu directly. I definitely did not expect a girl who fight with strategy that would match a Nara, Naruto muttered. As of right now, he was in a disadvantage. He lost his vision and he lost track of the girl soon after. Giving up, shithead? TAYUYA asked as she played another melody. Naruto heard that melody a few minutes ago. It was a melody used to summon her giant. The summon that Jiraiya mentioned before turned out to be a giant with eyes and ears covered and its mouth sewn. It was unexpected to see such creature summoned by a girl. Even though the girl could easily be considered as a demon. This is annoying. Naruto formed several chains around him and spun it to make a circle. Without my sight, I can only rely on my hearing and chains. Enhanced senses like Mother or the Inuzuka would be useful. I think Chikashoto had enhanced senses, Master, Shirato told him. Well, he isn't here, is he? Naruto snapped at his other. No need to be angry, Master, Shirato muttered. Sorry. Losing against that girl annoyed me. Naruto shook his head to clear his thought. He sensed his chains hitting a flesh. The doki. Naruto immediately bound the flesh. As he felt the form of the bounded flesh, he knew what it was. Its arm. Wait, something is wrong. Then Naruto realized. Damn. She cut off one of her doki's arm to trap me. Gotcha. Die, shithead. Naruto heard from above him. Tree walking. Naruto jumped away, hoping to avoid her attack. When he heard her laugh, his eyes narrowed. Now, Naruto felt 2 giant arms capturing him. Another doki? He asked in shock. I thought she could only summon one. Seems like you're wrong. Need assistance? Shirato offered. No, I have a plan. I didn't think that I will be forced to use this technique against her though. Ah, that is the technique you made to impress Itachi-sama, is it not? Naruto could imagine Shirato grinning evilly as he said this. When he heard TAYUYA's laugh, he smirked. Yes, time to show her, the kamikaze. Divine Wind. Not long after that, Jiraiya and his party dashed as fast as they could to escape the destruction. After they reached a safe area, Jiraiya and the Otonin stared at the forest in shock. Or to be more accurate, what used to be a forest. What the hell was that? Sakan asked after he snapped out of his surprise. Jiraiya scanned the area. The trees were cut down into smaller parts rapidly. It all happened in an instant. That was wind manipulation. A very high-level one. Naruto. You have grown strong. He just could not believe that Naruto would use a technique such as this against an ally though. Then again, it appears that he calculated everything perfectly. Jiraiya thought as he saw the area around Naruto and TAYUYA remained mostly unharmed. I win, Naruto declared as he felt his chains binding TAYUYA. The hell was that jutsu, shithead? Tayuya asked in shock. Kamikaze, a jutsu I created. Specialized in area destruction. This is the first time I used it in battle though. You should be proud, girl, Naruto told her with a smirk. Tayuya glared at the blonde. She wished she could shot back an insult, but she knew he won this round. I'll get you back for this. She swore. Just try, girl. I'll beat you over and over again until you surrender. Naruto declared with a smirk. Bastard. Tayuya spat out. Bitch. Naruto muttered. When Naruto arrived at his home while dragging Tayuya with her chain collar re-equipped, he expected to find his mother and perhaps the Jinchurikis in the house. Instead he was greeted by an empty house. Naruto almost panicked, worried that the organization he just met, Akatsuki, had captured her. Fortunately, he saw a Fuinjutsu seal on the table and released it with his blood and chakra. A Fuinjutsu message was common in Uzumaki household. With their expertise in seals, it was easy for them to create a message that could only be opened by certain chakra or blood. What's that shithead? He was reminded of his annoying companion when she opened her mouth. He shocked her and she yelped. Meeting her glare with a calm face he answered, "It is a message from my mother." It was imbued with Fuinjutsu that would cause the message to explode if anyone but me tried to open it. Understand, girl? The girl glared at him. It seemed that girl and shithead would be common words to be spoken by them to each other. What's in it? Tayuya asked curiously. Naruto read the message out loud. Sochi, I am currently out to finalize our new family members' transfer papers. If you got home before me, which I am sure you did as otherwise you wouldn't get this message, please take care of the house and prepare dinner. Thanks Sochi. You can cook, shithead? Tayuya asked, amazed. Naruto sent a wave of electricity to her. That is the part you focused on? He asked her. Then he added, yes, I can cook. Tayuya grumbled. Fine, what does she mean by new family members? The Jinchurikis will be living here. Naruto answered with a grimace. Jinchuriki? You sure don't do things by half, do you, shithead? Tayuya has heard about Jinchuriki. Most shinobi had. What they knew was that a Jinchuriki held a Biju and was a dangerous opponent that should be avoided in battle. Unfortunately. Naruto muttered. I'm going to cook. Is there anything you want? He asked Tayuya. She might be annoying, but if we are going to live together, might as well be civil with her. I doubt any crap you made could satisfy me, shithead, Tayuya answered with a smirk. But I suppose I can give you a chance to impress your superior. Naruto wordlessly walked to the kitchen, dragging Tayuya. Scratch that, there's no need to be civil with this girl. If she step out of the line, I'll punish her. After the food was served, Naruto and Tayuya ate in silence. Naruto because of habit and Tayuya because she was impressed that the bastard could cook so well. Shithead. She called. HN. Naruto refrained from shocking her as that would ruin the dinner. I'm surprised you can make something like this. She looked at anywhere but Naruto when she said it. Naruto observed her face for any trace of deception. Finally he answered, thanks. I tried my best. This doesn't mean we're friends, shithead, Tayuya told him. Naruto answered without batting an eyelid, try to avoid using foul languages while we are eating, girl. Food should be enjoyed. Okay. The meal continued in a comfortable silence. After their dinner, they each took a bath. Girl, what are you wearing? Naruto asked Tayuya, who walked out of the bathroom wearing a white shirt and a black panties. A shirt? What? Have a problem, shithead? Wear a skirt or a pants. Have some decency, girl, Naruto ordered as he avoided looking at Tayuya. Are you embarrassed? Tayuya teased him by walking to his line of sight. Naruto's eyes twitched and he grabbed the girl with his chains and sent her back to the bathroom. I will not let you out unless you wear either a skirt or a pants. Naruto gave his ultimatum as his chains coiled around the door, preventing any escape attempts. Fine, there were sounds of rustling and she opened the door, wearing a blue skirt this time. Naruto observed her. Good enough, he released the chains. They moved to the living room, which was the first room of Uzumaki house from the front door. Let us wait for my mother. What should your cover story be? Naruto asked Tayuya. Cover story. Why would I need one? Just tell your beloved mama the truth, mama boy, TAYUYA laughed after she answered Naruto. She just could not grasp the concept that someone who was strong enough to defeat her was a mama boy. Naruto's chain appeared and moved to bind itself in its new home, TAYUYA's neck. TAYUYA, anticipating the chain's movement, avoided it and moved to choke Naruto. As TAYUYA's hands grabbed Naruto's neck, his chain coiled itself on her neck. They glared at each other, trying to force the other to release their hold. This amusing sight was what greeted Kushina when she came home with the 3 Jinchuriki. Kushina blinked. Sochi, what are you doing? Chapter 13 How She Met My Mother. Naruto and his new bodyguard sat awkwardly in front of Kushina. How did it end up like this, shithead? TAYUYA whispered to Naruto. If I remember correctly, Okasama returned and saw us trying to kill each other. Somehow, she suddenly decided that you are my secret friend that I hid from her and she intends to talk with us, Naruto whispered back. Stop using foul words, girl, Naruto added. Don't take this the wrong way, bastard. But your mom is a strange, TAYUYA told him. Naruto smiled fondly, that is what makes her, Okasama. Mama boy, TAYUYA insulted. Arrogant girl, Naruto countered. Bastard, TAYUYA's voice rose. Kushina turned towards them but they were lost in their conversation to notice. Loser, Naruto glared. Shithead. TAYUYA moved to attack Naruto again. Bitch. Naruto countered TAYUYA and they choked each other's neck. Their glare intensified when their eyes came closer. Sochi. Stop playing with your friend. Kushina ordered. Instantly, Naruto flinched and released TAYUYA immediately. TAYUYA did the same, she would prefer not to cause any trouble in front of the boy's mother. Besides, shithead or not, he could cook edible foods. My apologies Okasama, I have lost control of myself, he bowed to his mother. Don't apologize to me. Say it to her, Naruto looked at the one pointed by his mother. His eyes twitched as TAYUYA smirked victoriously. My apologies mother. I do not believe I am able to lower myself to the point where I am able to apologize to her, Naruto told her. What does that supposed to mean? TAYUYA asked. It means that as I am your superior, therefore I should not apologize to you, Naruto stated. TAYUYA's smirk disappeared and she glared. When the hell did you become my superior shithead? TAYUYA exploded. Naruto noted that insulting her superiority or lack thereof would be one of the fastest way to rile her up. Fortunately, he had the perfect counterargument. When I defeated you in a spar of course, he answered without a pause. As Naruto calmly watched her, he noted that if someone could kill with a glare, he was certain that he had passed all 6 paths long ago. In short, he was certain he would be dead 6 times over. Sochi. Apologize. Kushina ordered. Naruto was in a dilemma. On one hand, he could obey his mother and apologize to the girl. On the other hand, he had no wish to lower his head to the girl. After some deliberation, Naruto reluctantly turned towards TAYUYA. I apologize for insulting and trying to attack you. I suppose I should have known that you are no match for me and should have allowed you to live in your delusional world, Naruto apologized and insulted her. Bastard. I am strong enough to force you to use your jutsu. Doesn't that mean you are weak? TAYUYA countered, referring to the kamikaze used to defeat her. Naruto scoffed, I merely gave you the honor to be the first victim of my jutsu. You flatter yourself. Master, you almost lost several times in that battle, Shirato chimed in. Badly too. Shut up, Shirato. Well then my genjutsu haven't wore off. Because right now, you must be blind, shithead. TAYUYA took out her flute. This seems familiar. Want to go another round? Naruto challenged. Bring it on, bastard. Sochi. Naruto and TAYUYA turned to Kushina. You still haven't told me her name. Who is she? Naruto's eyes lightened up in realization as he remembered that he had ignored his mother. What the hell is wrong with me? How could I forget her? My apologies mother, this girl is TAYUYA. She is an acquaintance of mine who have recently lost her home in the invasion. I humbly ask you to allow her to live under our roof for a while, Naruto lied to his mother as he pleaded. Sochi, has anyone told you that when you lie, you became more formal? Kushina asked. Naruto winced and shook his head. Kushina sighed and began lecturing Naruto about the importance of telling your mother the truth. TAYUYA watched this with an amused expression until finally she took pity at the blonde. Kushina-sama, isn't it? The blonde and I are not exactly friends, and he did lie about the reason I lost my house, but I do need a place to stay and he was kind enough to allow me to stay here, TAYUYA told Kushina. Naruto stared in surprise as TAYUYA did not curse and did not insult him at all in that sentence. Kushina observed her son and then the girl. I suppose Naruto rarely asks for anything. Alright, Sochi. As long as you can take care of her, I have no problem. Taking care of her meant spying on her and made sure she was not a spy or a hostile. Worry not, mother. Jiraiya-sama and Tsunade-sama will be able to vouch for her trustworthiness, Naruto informed her. He reasoned that if Oto were the village made by Sannin, Orochi must have told them the reason he needed protection. Perhaps I can find out the reason from either the girl or Jiraiya-sama. Kushina wondered what was the relation between the girl and the two Sannin, but she nodded. Alright, I suppose now I should introduce the three kids to her. Naruto's eyes narrowed when he heard about the three Jinchuriki. It was annoying to hear his mother spoke of other people so fondly. He was instantly reminded of his jealousy towards his father. Naruto shook his head to clear his thoughts. Why do I suddenly feel jealous like this? When the Jinchuriki came, Kushina introduced them. This is Gaara, Utakata and Fu, kids, this is TAYUYA. Naruto scowled when he heard how Kushina called them and he left the room. TAYUYA noticed this and greeted them shortly and followed Naruto's lead. Shithead, TAYUYA whispered to Naruto after she caught up with him. What was that? What? He growled. Alright, I just met you, but I know that your attitude right now is sure as hell ain't normal. Naruto's scowl disappeared as he continued to walk, leaving his house. Where are we going? TAYUYA asked him as she followed. To see Jiraiya-sama. When he heard TAYUYA's groan, he continued, we will see him unless you can answer my question. What question? TAYUYA would rather answer a question than meeting that pervert again. Why would I need protection? Naruto asked. TAYUYA shook her head, no, never really asked about it. That is why I must go to Jiraiya-sama. Yo, Naruto. Kakashi greeted him while reading his book. Naruto almost groaned. Out of all people he had to met while in the company of TAYUYA, he just had to met the worst person possible. Hello, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto bowed. Bastard, who's the pervert? TAYUYA asked him, referring to the Ika book in Kakashi's hand. Kakashi heard TAYUYA's question and noticed that Naruto was with an unfamiliar girl. Now, this is interesting. Who is she, Naruto? Just an annoyance. Ignore her, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto answered. Shithead. Don't call me a damn annoyance. TAYUYA smacked Naruto's head. Naruto glared. I did not call you a damn annoyance, girl. I called you an annoyance. There's no difference, dumbass. TAYUYA glared back. From the corner of TAYUYA's eyes, a familiar chain appeared and she prepared herself to avoid it. Instead, she felt another chain binding her from behind. Bastard, she shouted. And a familiar feeling of shock was sent to her. You know, I thought you would have learned by now. Stop using foul words and you should have realized that I can form more than one chain, Naruto lectured and shocked her when he heard TAYUYA muttering under her breath. Ow. I don't even curse, you shithead, she protested. Naruto shocked her again. Sorry, watching you writhing in pain somehow pleased me. Naruto honestly wondered why would he felt that. He doubted he would feel the same if anyone else was hurt. Sadist bastard. TAYUYA tried to attack Naruto but another shock was sent to her. Just keep trying, girl. It is amusing. Kakashi watched all of this with wide eye, his Ika forgotten. Forgive me, my precious. However, there are times when I have to leave you for a while. And seeing Naruto develop as a sadist is one of them. Kakashi was very happy. First, Naruto actually managed to socialize with someone outside his team. What a happy day. Chibi Kakashi danced in his head. Second, the person was a girl. Good job, my student. I am so proud. Chibi Kakashi and the real Kakashi gave a thumbs up. Third, Naruto just showed an interesting sight that would not be out of place for Ika Ika. My precious. Now you shall become stronger. Naruto's offering shall empower you. Chibi Kakashi patted his chibi Ika Ika lovingly. Then he cackled evilly. Fourth, Jiraiya-sama is recording it in his notes. Kakashi shouted in joy inside his mind. Our Lord! Chibi Kakashi worshipped a statue of Chibi Jiraiya. Naruto! You truly are my most prodigious student. Kakashi praised his best student. Indeed, just some distance behind them, Jiraiya stood on a tree while writing his notes and giggling in a very perverted way. Naruto, you are gold. I once doubted you, but I shall never do so again. Even in young age, you have proven yourself to be a member of Ika Ika Source. Short version, IIS. Girl, do you feel that? Naruto asked the bound girl as he felt a shiver down his spine. If you mean the chains, then yes. I definitely feel it, you sadist bastard. TAYUYA shouted as she glared at the boy. Naruto tightened the bond. You really don't learn, do you? Then he thought for a second. By the way, what is a sadist? Naruto asked, confusion clear in his eyes. Seriously? TAYUYA asked in disbelief. Naruto nodded honestly and TAYUYA groaned. I'm being tortured by a sadist bastard who doesn't even know the meaning of a sadist. Somehow, knowing that what she said was the truth made her wish she could cry and laugh at the same time. Naruto ignored the girl and spoke to Kakashi. Anyway, her name is TAYUYA. Then he decided to ask his sensei, Sensei, do you know where Jiraiya-sama is? Kakashi I smiled. Behind you, Naruto, he cheerfully told the boy. Naruto turned to see Jiraiya landing on the ground. You're looking for me, kid? Jiraiya asked. Jiraiya-sama, tell me, why do I need? Naruto trailed off as he realized that they were in public. Jiraiya sighed and then motioned Naruto and TAYUYA to follow him. Kakashi, you come too, he told the scarecrow. Kakashi turned serious and followed them. The four ninjas stood near Konoha's hot spring. Before we start, I want you all to listen quietly until I stop talking, Jiraiya told the three. They nodded. Naruto, realizing the seriousness of this situation, released TAYUYA from his chain. It began 12 years ago. The two Konoha shinobi's eyes widened in realization. TAYUYA stared at Jiraiya, confused. The day of Uzumaki Naruto's birth. When you were born, your mother was attacked by a masked man. Naruto was about to open his mouth to ask question but then remembered Jiraiya's command. I and the other Sanins do not know what happened that time, but when we were patrolling the area, Kushina suddenly appeared and told us that Minato was attacked. Seeing TAYUYA's questioning look, he explained. Minato was the Yondaime Hokage, Naruto's father. He noted that Naruto seemed to be fine with that title. Maybe he's starting to accept Minato. When we reached the battlefield, Minato managed to battle the man to the point where the man lost both of his eyes, but Minato was killed in the process. TAYUYA and Kakashi turned to Naruto to see his reaction. Naruto merely stared at Jiraiya. Outside, he seemed calm, but inside, his mind was not. Why would that masked man attack my mother? Kyubi. That is the answer. Then, is he a member of that Akatsuki? Jiraiya-sama, Naruto called him. Naruto, I told you not to speak until I'm done, Jiraiya sighed when he saw Naruto's determined eyes. Alright, what's your question? This masked man, is he a member of Akatsuki? Naruto asked. Jiraiya's eyes widened. I haven't thought about that. It's true that the Akatsuki is searching for Biju, but I never thought that the man might be a member. Jiraiya tried to think of the implications if it was true. I should inform Orochimaru and Tsunade. Outside he answered Naruto. Perhaps. We still don't have a proof yet. Seeing Kakashi's questioning eye, he continued his story. After that, the Sanins each tried to find any information about that man. Orochimaru pretended to go rogue while acting as a spy in the underworld. Kakashi's eye lightened up in realization. I thought that Orochimaru's betrayal is a little strange, but to think that it was all to act as a spy. Kakashi was impressed by how much Orochimaru was willing to sacrifice for his village. Instead of finding the masked man, we found something more dangerous. Jiraiya's eyes were grave as he said it. The three others listened with full attention. An organization of 10 S-ranked missing means called Akatsuki. 2 pairs of eyes and 1 eye widened. I know that it is an organization of S-ranked shinobi, but 10 of them. How? 1 or 2 S-ranked shinobi was enough to match a Kage, but 10 of them. Naruto did not want to imagine the destruction they would cause. This is dangerous. How could such organization exists? There were no reports about it. Kakashi's eye sharpened as he thought about facing the S-ranked ninjas. Seems like I have to restart my training. 10. Orochimaru-sama told us about it, but how am I supposed to fight against 10 of them with the bastard? Tayuya turned towards Naruto and saw him scowling furiously. The Akatsuki's goal is unknown, but what we know is that they seek the Jinchurikis. All 9 of them. Jiraiya looked at each one of his audience. They work in pairs and we had no idea who they are except for Orochimaru and his partner, Hoshigaki Kisame. The 3 absorbed this information. The Akatsuki is the main reason why we took the Jinchurikis from their village. You might not realize this, but there are many foreign ninjas in Konoha right now. Each of them are among A-ranked or S-ranked shinobis chosen to protect the Jinchurikis. Kakashi did notice the foreign shinobis, but he did not expect the reason of their presence. As of right now, they and us have 2 priorities. One is to protect the Jinchurikis. The 3 nodded at that. The other is to protect Uzumaki Naruto. Their eyes widened again. The second objective was a surprise. Why? Naruto asked before he could stop himself. The Akatsuki have spies everywhere. One of them was in the Chunin exam and the invasion. This spy saw how Naruto managed to subdue Bijus and Jinchurikis. They decided to seek his ability. Even if they captured me, it is useless. The one they seek is Geto. Naruto decided that it was time to return to the realms and battle the paths. I need all help I can get. Then Master, I advise you to begin with Ninjendo and Chikashodo, Shirato advised. Tayuya was chosen to act as Naruto's protector, at least publicly. To tell you the truth, Naruto's protectors are myself and... Jiraiya looked towards Kakashi. Of course I will protect him. He is my precious student. Kakashi patted Naruto's head. Then why the hell am I here? Tayuya demanded an explanation. If the bastard's bodyguards are Jiraiya-sama and the Cyclops, then why am I here? You are Naruto's protector but not from the Akatsuki. Naruto and Tayuya were confused at that, but Kakashi caught what Jiraiya was insinuating. She is here to make sure the foreign ninjas doesn't try to kidnap Naruto. Kakashi muttered. Naruto and Tayuya heard him and looked at Jiraiya for confirmation. Jiraiya nodded. I suppose we will be working together for some time, girl, Naruto muttered. Tayuya nodded. After their conversation with Jiraiya was done, Naruto and Tayuya returned to the Uzumaki's house in silence. Naruto apologized to his mother when she asked him where had he been. He told her that he was walking around with Tayuya and they met Kakashi. That seemed to mollify his mother. The air in the house was tense. The foreign Jinchurikis were uncomfortable because they were unfamiliar with the place. Tayuya and Naruto kept thinking about the Akatsuki and the foreign ninjas. Soon, night came and Naruto walked to the balcony of his room. He watched the moon quietly. Uzumaki Naruto turned towards the source of the voice and saw the Shikaku's Jinchuriki flying using his sand. Naruto wondered how it was possible. Gaara-san, was it? Is there a problem? Naruto wondered why he was not asleep. Why are you still awake? I had difficulties of sleeping because of my seal. While the problem no longer exists, I am still uncomfortable with the idea of losing my consciousness, Gaara explained. Naruto remembered how Shikaku appeared when the boy was knocked out. That certainly would be troublesome. Then Gaara's eyes met Naruto and an unspoken question passed through it. When I am worried or tense, I would watch the moon from here or the roof. Seeing the moon always calmed me down. They both watched the moon in silence. You are unlike mother, Gaara spoke suddenly. Seeing Naruto's questioning eyes, he elaborated. Shikaku always become even more uncontrollable when he saw the moon. Naruto wondered why he would refer the Biju as his mother. You know that Shikaku is not your mother. And yet you refer him as one, Naruto stated. He protected me. He gave my existence a meaning, and that is... Naruto wondered what Shikaku told the boy. To kill to prove my existence, Gaara answered shortly. Naruto chuckled, you know, I heard some interesting reasons of existence such as to write perverted books, to read all perverted books, to learn all jutsu in the world, to fight for someone precious, and even to get girls. But this is the first time I heard someone answer to kill. I cannot prove my existence except by killing, Gaara stated without emotion. Why? Killing someone meant that there will be no one to remember you after your death. They only remember a killer. Naruto then closed his eyes. If you want to prove your existence, you should protect people precious to you. That was his goal after all. To protect everyone precious to him by creating a peaceful world. I do not have anyone precious to me. Naruto opened his eyes and gave him a questioning look. I am unable to be loved. I am a monster. Gaara-san, we are shinobi. We will lie, cheat, steal, torture, and kill. From a civilian perspective, we are a monster. Gaara stared at him impassively, then began his tale. When I was born, my father ordered someone to seal Shikaku in me in hopes that I would become Tsunade's weapon. Naruto listened. This matched what I read in the library. I was the only one compatible with the beast as I was born prematurely. My real mother died because of me. Naruto still listened calmly. Everyone hated and feared me, even my brother and sister. I lost control and accidentally attacked other people and their fear and hatred grew. Naruto winced. That sounded though. To try to control a beast while being hated and feared. Only one man did not treat me the same. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Could there be an intelligent person there? At least that's what I thought. Then again, perhaps not. Naruto shook his head in dismay. His name was Yashimaru. He was my mother's brother, my uncle. He took care of me since I was a child. Naruto waited for the other shoe to drop. One day, he tried to kill me. Naruto winced again. He accepted the mission to kill me and he tried. He sacrificed himself to kill me but I killed him instead. Gaara's visage almost showed his sadness but he immediately returned his emotionless mask. Naruto said nothing, respecting the boy's fortitude. Before he died, he told me that my mother named me after a self-loving carnage, because of her hatred towards Tsunade, not because of her love towards me. He said that he had never loved me and was merely waiting for a chance to avenge his sister. Naruto winced for the third time. Then I etched this word on my forehead. Gaara pointed at the kanji of love on his head. I lost control and released Shikaku for the first time. After that, my father tried to have me assassinated numerous times. Naruto wondered how many times will he had to wince. They all failed and finally he gave up. From that, I learned, I am a demon who loved only myself. Other people are merely tools for me to prove my existence. Naruto observed the boy. When it was clear that Gaara was done, he began to think. I do not think I can understand what Gaara went through. I am not a Jinchuriki and I have never suffered like him. No matter how much I try, he and I differ. However, he needs to understand that there are people who care about him. If he can understand that, he could be happy or at least content. Naruto began to spoke. I have no right to judge you. No human has the right to judge others. I will not pity you. However, I do not believe that you are unloved. Gaara stared at him. He continued. Your real mother certainly loved you. If she did not, she would not have named you at all. She would have considered you as a monster and abandoned you. While her hatred towards Tsunade might be real, but that does not mean her love for you is not real. Gaara said nothing and Naruto moved to his second point, your uncle, he must have loved you too. Gaara opened his mouth to protest but Naruto motioned him to stop. A chance to avenge his sister. That was a lie. He had numerous chances of killing you when you were small. He did not take it, did he? Instead he did so after he was ordered to. Naruto narrowed his eyes. No, I suppose I should say he was forced to. Gaara listened to Naruto and found himself believing what the boy said. The boy listened to him and gave him a view on his life that was different from his, and yet he could see what Naruto meant. And what do you mean you are not loved? As much as I hate to say this, my mother certainly cares about you. She just met the three of you for about a week and she already consider you a part of her family. Gaara thought about the woman who accepted him with a smile and offered him a place in her home. She said that she would protect them and love them. Gaara remembered what she said clearly. I won't be able to replace your parents, but I swear I will protect you. I will take care of you as a mother. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto tilted his head questioningly. What do you think of me? Gaara asked. Do you want to know the truth? Gaara nodded. I am jealous of you. His eyes widened hearing that. That was unexpected. He expected the Uzumaki to hate him or fear him, but not this. You, the three of you, are able to bond with my mother easily. The four of you are basically family. She easily accepted you. But now, I know why my mother is like that. The life of a Jinchuriki is something I cannot claim to understand. I hate to say this, but there are pains in my mother's heart that I could not mend. However, you and the other two could. Naruto moved closer towards Gaara and grabbed his shoulders. Gaara almost used his sands to protect himself but managed to refrain from doing so. As of right now, she is practically your mother. Therefore that makes us brothers. And as a brother, I am counting on you to protect her with me. Can you do it? Naruto asked Gaara. Gaara knew that this person in front of him did not ask that question to Gaara, the weapon. Nor did he ask it to Gaara, the Jinchuriki. The question was asked to him. He did not judge. He did not care about Shikaku. He considered him simply as Gaara. For Gaara, Uzumaki Naruto was someone who accepted him. There was only one answer to Naruto's question. I am honored, brother. Naruto smiled. Hello Gaara, I am your brother, Naruto. It is a pleasure to meet you. Gaara gave an awkward try to smile. Hello Naruto, I am Gaara, your new brother. I am also pleased to meet you. After spending several hours talking with Gaara, Naruto advised Gaara to try to sleep as it would be beneficial to his health. Naruto regretted that suggestion as he was left alone with no one to talk to. What should I do now? Naruto wondered. After some deliberation, he decided to go up to the roof to watch the moon again. Opening the door to the roof, Naruto heard a sound of a flute being played. He instantly recognized who was on the roof. What are you doing here, girl? Naruto asked TAYUYA, who was sitting on the edge of the roof. TAYUYA stopped playing her flute, startled because Naruto's sudden presence. As you can see, shithead, I am playing my flute. Why the hell are you here? I am here to watch the moon. Naruto laid down beside TAYUYA and stared at the sky. After some time, he noticed that TAYUYA had stopped playing her flute. Why did you stop? It was beautiful. You should continue playing. TAYUYA blushed a little. Alright, she began to play her flute again. This time the melody was similar to the one she used to control her doki. Naruto listened to the haunting melody and felt his consciousness fading. Just before he fell asleep, he heard TAYUYA's words. Thanks for the compliment, bastard. When Naruto woke up, he stared at the moon. It was not the moon he was familiar with, but it was another moon he knew. Naruto sighed as he saw the Rinnegan with 9 Tomo in the sky. Here we go again.